Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're diving deep into one of the most iconic characters in video game history, Mario. You know him as the mustache plumber who saves Princess Peach, stomps on Goombas, and collects coins. But there's so much more to Mario than meets the eye. Mario has been with us for over 4 decades. He's appeared in more than 200 games across every Nintendo console. He's been in cartoons, movies, breakfast cereals, and even appeared at the Olympic Games closing ceremony. Mario isn't just a character. He's a cultural phenomenon that has touched the lives of billions of people around the world. But how much do you really know about Mario? Did you know he wasn't always called Mario? Did you know his original profession wasn't plumbing? Did you know the Mushroom Kingdom has some genuinely dark secrets hidden beneath its cheerful exterior? Over the next hour, we'll explore the hidden facts, strange origins, bizarre controversies, and forgotten lore that make Mario one of the most fascinating characters in gaming. We'll talk about the games you've never heard of, the power-ups that make no sense, and the relationships that define Mario's world. We'll examine his impact on popular culture and what the future holds for gaming's most recognizable hero. So get comfortable, maybe grab a drink, relax, and let's jump into the Mushroom Kingdom. This is going to be a journey through gaming history, Japanese folklore, corporate decisions, and the creative genius that brought Mario to life. Let's start at the very beginning. Mario wasn't always called Mario, and he wasn't always a plumber either. In fact, the character we know today evolved through a series of accidents, limitations, and creative decisions that shaped gaming history. Mario first appeared in 1981 in the arcade game Donkey Kong. But back then, he was called Jumpman. He was a carpenter, not a plumber, and his mission was to rescue a woman named Pauline from a giant ape. The character was designed by Shigeru Miyamoto, a young artist at Nintendo who would go on to become one of the most influential game designers of all time. The development of Donkey Kong is a fascinating story in itself. Miyamoto wanted to create a game based on the Popeye characters. He envisioned Popeye rescuing olive oil from Bluto, with the whole thing taking place on a construction site. It was a solid concept, but there was one major problem. Nintendo couldn't secure the licensing rights to use Popeye characters. This forced Miyamoto to create original characters instead. So Jumpman became the stand-in for Popeye, Pauline for olive oil, and Donkey Kong for Bluto. The name Donkey Kong itself is interesting. Miyamoto wanted to convey stubbornness and stupidity, so he looked up donkey in a Japanese-English dictionary. Kong was meant to evoke the image of a gorilla, inspired by King Kong. When the name was presented to Nintendo of America, they thought it sounded ridiculous. But the game was already being manufactured, and changing the name would have been too expensive. So Donkey Kong it remained, and despite, or perhaps because of, its unusual name, the game became a massive hit. Now here's where it gets interesting. The name Mario came from a real person. Nintendo of America's warehouse was owned by a man named Mario Segal. During a heated meeting about overdue rent, someone at Nintendo joked that the Jumpman character looked like their landlord. The name stuck, and Mario Segal became immortalized in gaming history. Segal himself didn't even know about this connection until years later. He was reportedly a private man who didn't seek attention, but his name became one of the most recognized in the world. There's some debate about whether Segal was flattered or annoyed by this association. Some reports suggest he was indifferent, while others claim he eventually embraced it. Regardless, his legacy is now permanently tied to gaming history, all because of a passing resemblance and a joke made during a tense business meeting. But why did Mario become a plumber? When Nintendo created Mario Bros. In 1983, they needed to develop a new game that could work as both an arcade title and a home console game. The concept was simple. Mario would have to clear out creatures from the sewers of New York. To explain why Mario and his new brother Luigi were jumping through pipes and working underground, the plumber profession made perfect sense. It was a practical design choice that became iconic. The jump from carpenter to plumber wasn't some grand artistic decision. It was simply what made sense for the game setting. Mario's appearance was also dictated by the technology of the time. In the early 1980s, graphics capabilities were extremely limited. The Nintendo Entertainment System could only display a small number of pixels, and every design choice had to be made with these constraints in mind. Mario's mustache was added because animating a mouth was too difficult on low-resolution screens. His nose and mustache created a face that was recognizable even at tiny sizes. His cap covered his hair, saving precious pixels that would have been needed to animate hair movement. His overalls were chosen to make his arm movements more visible against his body. The contrast between his blue overalls and red shirt meant players could clearly see what Mario was doing even on small, blurry television screens. Every aspect of Mario's design was born from limitation, yet it created one of the most recognizable characters in the world. This is a testament to the creativity of early game developers, who had to work within extreme constraints and somehow created something timeless. The original color scheme for Mario was quite different too. In early arcade artwork and promotional materials, Mario wore a blue shirt and red overalls. This was later reversed to the red shirt. Here's a question that stumped fans for decades. What is Mario's last name? Is it just Mario, like Cher or Madonna? Does he have a traditional Italian surname? Or is it something completely unexpected? For years, people assumed his full name was Mario, making his brother Luigi Mario. This seemed ridiculous, almost like a joke. The idea that someone would name their children Mario and Luigi Mario sounds absurd. But it was actually confirmed by Shigeru Miyamoto himself at an event in 2015 celebrating Mario's 30th anniversary. Yes, Mario's full name is officially Mario. The 1993 live-action Super Mario Bros. Movie had it right all along, even though the movie itself was, let's just say, controversial. We'll get to that disaster later. The double name convention actually makes a strange kind of sense when you think about it. In the game Mario Brothers, the title refers to the Mario brothers, Mario and Luigi. If they're the Mario brothers, then Mario must be their last name. It's simple logic, even if it creates a somewhat silly full name. It's similar to how we might say the Smith brothers to refer to two brothers with the last name Smith. But Mario's identity goes deeper than just his name. What nationality is Mario supposed to be? This is where things get complicated. While Mario speaks with an Italian accent and embodies Italian stereotypes, the mustache, the love of pasta implied in various games, the hand gestures in modern animations, he was created in Japan by a Japanese team. He's a Japanese interpretation of an Italian character, filtered through American localization, and has become a global icon that transcends any single nationality. His voice actor, Charles Martinet, is actually American. Martinet auditioned for the role in 1990 at a trade show where Nintendo was demonstrating a talking Mario head. The technology allowed visitors to interact with Mario in real time, with Martinet providing the voice from a separate room. Martinet was originally told to give Mario a gruff, Brooklyn-style voice, similar to how he'd been portrayed in cartoons. But Martinet thought that would be too harsh and scary for children. So he created an exaggerated but warm Italian accent on the spot, and Nintendo loved it. Martinet has said in interviews that he wanted Mario to sound welcoming, friendly, and fun, the kind of person you want to invite to a party. He wanted children to feel safe and excited when they heard Mario's voice, not intimidated. This decision fundamentally changed how we perceive Mario's personality. The Brooklyn tough guy Mario from the 1980s cartoons was aggressive and sometimes rude. Martinet's Mario is enthusiastic, optimistic, and genuinely joyful. It's impossible to imagine modern Mario with any other voice. Interestingly, before Charles Martinet, Mario had different voices in different media. In the Super Mario Bros. Super Show cartoon from 1989, Mario was voiced by Lou Albano, a former professional wrestler. His Mario had a thick Brooklyn accent and was much more gruff and streetwise. In the Super Mario Bros. 3 cartoon, Mario was voiced by Walker Boone, who gave him a slightly softer but still Brooklyn-influenced voice. The shift to Martinet's cheerful, high-pitched Italian voice in Super Mario 64 completely changed the character's personality and made him more universally appealing. Mario's age is another mystery that Nintendo has been deliberately vague about. Miyamoto has stated that Mario is approximately 24 to 25 years old. This seems surprisingly young for a character who's been around since 1981. However, in video game logic, characters don't really age. They exist in a perpetual state. Mario was 24 in 1985, and he's still 24 in 2025. It's the Peter Pan effect of video games. But thinking about Mario as a 24-year-old raises interesting questions. He's already a master plumber, an Olympic-level athlete, a licensed doctor, and has saved the Mushroom Kingdom multiple times. That's quite a resume for someone in their mid-20s. Then again, video game characters aren't bound by the normal progression of time or realistic career development. Mario can be whatever the game needs him to be. There's also the question of what Mario does when he's not saving Princess Peach. According to various games, Mario has had numerous occupations: plumber, carpenter, doctor, athlete, racer, referee, archaeologist, and even CEO of a toy company. He's the ultimate jack of all trades, master of all. This versatility is part of what makes Mario such an enduring character. He can fit into any genre or scenario without it feeling too out of place. Need a racing game? Mario can drive. Need a sports game? Mario can play tennis, golf, soccer, and baseball. Need a puzzle game? Mario can solve puzzles. Need an RPG? Mario can level up and learn magic. This adaptability also makes Mario the perfect avatar for players. He's not locked into a specific personality or backstory that limits what stories can be told. He's a blank slate that can be projected onto any adventure, which is exactly what Miyamoto intended from the beginning. The Mushroom Kingdom seems like a cheerful, whimsical place, but when you dig deeper, there are some genuinely unsettling elements to Mario's world. Let's start with the super mushrooms. These fungi make Mario grow to twice his size instantly. But what are they exactly? According to the original Super Mario Bros. Instruction manual, the mushrooms are actually the transformed citizens of the Mushroom Kingdom. Bowser turned them into bricks, stone, and let's not forget the ghost houses. Boos, those shy ghosts that chase Mario when he's not looking, are the spirits of deceased toads, according to some interpretations. The ghost houses are filled with unsettling details, paintings with eyes that follow you, invisible platforms, and a sense that you're trespassing in a place where the dead still linger. The Mushroom Kingdom might look colorful and fun, but beneath the surface, it's a world of transformation curses, political intrigue, and lingering spirits. Chapter 4. Mario's Bizarre Promotional History. 22:00-30:00. Mario hasn't just been confined to video games. Over the decades, he's appeared in some truly bizarre promotional materials, commercials, and products that most people have forgotten. In the 1980s and early 1990s, Mario was everywhere. There was a Super Mario Bros. Cereal, split into two sections. One side was Mario-flavored, the other Luigi-flavored. Both tasted essentially the same, but kids loved the gimmick. There were Mario pajamas, Mario lunchboxes, Mario bedsheets. Mario became more than a character. He became a lifestyle brand. But things got weird. In 1989, there was a Japanese commercial for Super Mario Land that featured Mario in a live-action setting, dancing with synchronized swimmers. It was surreal and had nothing to do with the game. Japanese Mario commercials often leaned into the absurd, featuring Mario in situations that Western audiences would find completely baffling. Then there was the infamous Super Mario Bros. 3 promotion. Nintendo partnered with McDonald's for a Happy Meal campaign. The toys were simple plastic figures, but the commercials featured live-action kids transforming into Mario characters. It was a massive success and introduced an entire generation of Mario before they even touched a game. The Super Mario Bros. Movie in 1993, starring Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo, is legendary for all the wrong reasons. It was a dystopian, cyberpunk interpretation of the Mushroom Kingdom, with Goombas as evolved dinosaurs and King Koopa, as Dennis Hopper with terrible hair. The movie was a critical and commercial failure, but it's gained a cult following over the years for its sheer audacity. Bob Hoskins himself later said it was the worst job he ever took. Mario has also appeared in music. In the late 1980s, there was a vinyl record called Super Mario Bros. Rap, which is exactly as cringeworthy as it sounds. The lyrics attempted to tell Mario's story through rap, complete with references to jumping on Goombas and saving Peach. It's a relic of a time when companies try to make everything cool by adding rap music. There were also Mario watches, Mario board games, and even Mario underwear. Nintendo licensed Mario's image to almost anyone who asked during the height of his popularity. Some of these products are now valuable collectibles, while others are just amusing footnotes in Mario's commercial history. Chapter 5. The Miyamoto philosophy, 30:00-36:00. To truly understand Mario, you need to understand his creator, Shigeru Miyamoto. Miyamoto is a legend in the gaming industry, and his philosophy has shaped not just Mario, but Nintendo as a whole. Miyamoto grew up in rural Japan, where he spent his childhood exploring forests, caves, and the countryside. One of his most formative experiences was discovering a hidden cave entrance while hiking. He ventured inside with a lantern and found a mysterious underground world. This sense of discovery and wonder is infused into every Mario game. Miyamoto has always prioritized gameplay over story. He believes that a game should be fun to play first, with the narrative serving the mechanics, not the other way around. This is why Mario games don't have complicated plots. The story is simple. Bowser kidnaps Peach, Mario saves her. But the journey, the jumping, exploring, and problem-solving, is where the magic happens. This philosophy is evident in Super Mario 64, which revolutionized 3D gaming. Miyamoto and his team spent months just perfecting Mario's movement. They wanted jumping to feel satisfying, for the player to have precise control, for every action to have weight and responsiveness. The game was built around movement first, with the levels designed afterward to showcase that movement. Miyamoto also believes in appending the T-table. This is a Japanese concept meaning to overturn expectations, to take something familiar and flip it on its head. You can see this in games like Super Mario Galaxy, where gravity itself becomes a playable mechanic, or Super Mario Odyssey, where Mario can possess enemies and objects with his hat. Miyamoto has said that he designs games for everyone: children, adults, hardcore gamers, and people who've never touched a controller. This accessibility is key to Mario's enduring success. The games are easy to pick up but difficult to master, offering depth for those who seek it while remaining welcoming to newcomers. Another interesting aspect of Miyamoto's approach is his reluctance to kill off characters or make things too dark. He stated that he wants Mario games to feel like a fun theme park, not a harrowing adventure. Even when Mario dies, it's treated lightly. He just loses a life and tries again. There's no blood, no real consequences, just the joy of playing. Mario has appeared in over 200 games, but some of them are so obscure that even die-hard fans have never heard of them. Let's start with Mario's Picross. This puzzle game was released for the Game Boy in 1995 and featured Mario in a non-platforming role. Picross is a logic puzzle where you fill in grids to create pictures. It was well received critically, but didn't sell well, probably because people expected action, not brain teasers. Despite this, the Picross series has continued in Japan with minimal Western releases. Then there's Mario Clash, a Virtual Boy game. The Virtual Boy was Nintendo's ill-fated attempt at virtual reality in 1995. It was a clunky, headache-inducing red and black system that was discontinued within a year. Mario Clash was essentially a 3D version of the original Mario Bros., where you threw Koopa shells at enemies. It's one of the rarest Mario games simply because the Virtual Boy was such a commercial failure. Super Mario's Wacky Worlds was a canceled game for the CDI, a console made by Philips. The CDI also had those infamous Zelda games that fans prefer to forget. Wacky Worlds was going to feature Mario traveling through real-world locations like ancient Greece and the Wild West. Thankfully, it was never completed, saving Mario from the CD's terrible reputation. Mario Teaches Typing is exactly what it sounds like. Released in 1991 for MS-DOS and later for Windows, it was an educational game designed to help people learn keyboard skills. Mario would appear on screen, encouraging you to type faster. It's hilariously dated now, but it was actually quite popular in schools during the early 90s. BS Super Mario USA was a Japan-exclusive game for the Satellaview, a Super Famicom add-on that allowed players to download games via satellite. It was a timed remake of Super Mario Bros. 2 with voice acting and a weekly release structure. Because the Satellaview service is long defunct, the game is nearly impossible to play today, making it one of the most obscure Mario experiences. Mario & Wario was a Japan-only Super Famicom game that required the SNES mouse. Wario drops buckets on Mario's head, and you guide Mario to Luigi by drawing pathways with the mouse. It was a creative puzzle game that combined real-time and strategy elements, but its limited release and unusual controller requirement meant few people played it. And then there's Hotel Mario, another CDI disaster. The gameplay involved closing doors in hotels to trap enemies. The cutscenes featured hilariously bad voice acting and animation, which have since become memes. Nice of the princess to invite us over for a picnic. A Luigi? If you know, you know. These forgotten games show that Nintendo has experimented with Mario in nearly every genre imaginable. Some experiments worked, others, not so much. Mario's power-ups are iconic. The Super Mushroom, the Fire Flower, the Superstar. But over the years, Mario has gained some truly bizarre abilities that don't get talked about as much. Let's start with the Tanuki suit from Super Mario Bros. 3. While the Raccoon Leaf lets Mario fly, the Tanuki suit has an additional ability. Mario can turn into a statue. This is based on Japanese folklore, where Tanuki, raccoon dogs, are shape-shifting tricksters. In the folklore, Tanuki are known for their, let's say, prominent anatomy, which is often depicted in statues. Nintendo wisely toned down that aspect for Mario. The frog suit, also from Super Mario Bros. 3, turns Mario into a frog. On land, it's almost useless. Mario can barely jump. But underwater, it's incredibly powerful, giving him speed and agility. It's a power-up that requires strategic thinking about when and where to use it. Super Mario Sunshine introduced FLUDD, a water-spraying backpack with a personality. FLUDD could hover, rocket boost, and clean up graffiti. It was a controversial addition because it changed Mario's movement fundamentally. Some players loved it, others felt it made the game too easy. Regardless, FLUDD remains one of Mario's most unique power-ups. The bee mushroom from Super Mario Galaxy turns Mario into a bee, allowing him to fly temporarily and stick to honeycomb surfaces. The rainbow star in Galaxy makes Mario invincible and causes him to run at high speed with psychedelic visuals and a remix of the classic invincibility theme. It's a sensory overload in the best way. Super Mario 3D World introduced the Super Bell, which turns Mario into Cat Mario. This gives him the ability to climb walls, pounce on enemies, and scratch them. Cat Mario became instantly popular, spawning countless memes and merchandise. There's something inherently funny about a mustache plumber dressed as a cat. The Double Cherry, also from 3D World, creates a clone of Mario. Collect multiple cherries, and you can have an army of Marios running around. It's chaotic, hilarious, and a brilliant use of the hardware's capabilities. Cappy from Super Mario Odyssey deserves special mention. This sentient hat allows Mario to capture enemies and objects, taking control of them. You can become a T-Rex, a Goomba, a tank, an electrical wire, even a piece of meat. It's the most versatile power-up in Mario history and completely changes how you approach each level. Then there are the weirder, one-off power-ups. The spring mushroom from Galaxy turns Mario into a spring, forcing him to bounce everywhere. The rock mushroom lets him roll like a boulder. The cloud flower creates temporary platforms out of thin air. Each power-up adds a new layer of creativity to the gameplay. Mario doesn't exist in a vacuum. His relationships with other characters define much of his story. Let's start with Princess Peach. Their relationship is central to the Mario franchise, but it's remarkably undefined. Are they dating? Engaged? Just friends? Nintendo has never officially clarified. In some games, like Super Mario Odyssey, there are hints of romantic tension, especially when Bowser also proposes to Peach. But Peach rejects both Mario and Bowser in the end, choosing independence. It's a surprisingly progressive move for a franchise that's traditionally about rescuing the damsel in distress. Peach herself is more capable than she's given credit for. In Super Princess Peach, she's the hero, using emotional powers, yes, really, to save Mario and Luigi. In Super Mario Bros. 2, she can float temporarily. She's also a playable character in Mario Kart, Super Smash Bros., and various sports games, often holding her own against the boys. The helpless princess trope is mostly a narrative device. When given agency, Peach is powerful. Luigi, Mario's younger brother, has a fascinating dynamic with Mario. He's taller, can jump higher, and has a more cautious personality. For years, Luigi was relegated to Player 2 status, But games like Luigi's Mansion gave him the spotlight. Luigi's Mansion portrays him as cowardly yet brave. He's terrified of ghosts, but ventures into haunted mansions anyway to save his brother. That's true courage. There's also a strange competitiveness between the brothers that's mostly played for laughs. In Mario Party and sports games, they're rivals. In platformers, they're partners. This duality makes their relationship feel real. Siblings who love each other, but also compete. Bowser is Mario's arch-nemesis, but their relationship is oddly civil. In games like Super Mario RPG and the Paper Mario series, Mario and Bowser sometimes team up against greater threats. Bowser has been portrayed as everything from a pure villain to a misunderstood anti-hero to a bumbling comic relief. His motivation, whether it's love for Peach, desire for power, or just because, changes depending on the game. Bowser's relationship with his son, Bowser Jr., adds depth to his character. He's a surprisingly attentive father, teaching Jr. about villainy and even lying to him to make him feel special. The whole Peach is your mother thing. It humanizes Bowser in a way that makes him more than just a one-dimensional bad guy. Yoshi deserves mention too. This friendly dinosaur has been Mario's mount and companion since Super Mario World. Their relationship is purely symbiotic. Yoshi helps Mario traverse dangerous terrain, and Mario rides him and sometimes abandons him to make difficult jumps. It's actually kind of messed up when you think about it. Yoshi is unfailingly loyal, even when Mario uses him as a stepping stone. Toad is another important character, though he's more of a collective than an individual. The Toads are Peach's subjects, and they're generally portrayed as helpless and cowardly. But characters like Toadsworth, Peach's steward, and Captain Toad show that Toads can be brave and resourceful when needed. Mario isn't just a video game character. He's a cultural icon who's influenced music, art, language, and even politics. The Super Mario Bros. Theme, composed by Koji Kondo, is one of the most recognizable pieces of music in the world. Studies have shown that more people can hum the Mario theme than can recite their own country's national anthem. Kondo composed it under severe technical limitations. The NES sound chip could only produce a few notes at a time. Yet he created something timeless. That theme has been remixed, covered, and parroted thousands of times. There are metal versions, jazz versions, orchestral performances, and even remixes in genres like dubstep and lo-fi hip-hop. The melody is so ingrained in our collective consciousness that hearing just a few notes instantly evokes the Mushroom Kingdom. Mario has appeared in art galleries. In 2017, the Museum of Modern Art in New York added several video games to its permanent collection, including the original Super Mario Bros. The museum recognized the game as an important work of interactive design, worthy of preservation and study alongside traditional art forms. The language of gaming is filled with Mario references. Phrases like jump the shark in gaming contexts, game over, and even the concept of lives in games can be traced back to Mario's influence. The red mushroom has become synonymous with gaming power-ups, and the warp pipe is instantly recognizable as a transportation method. Mario has even entered political discourse. In 2016, during the Rio Olympics closing ceremony, then-Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe appeared dressed as Mario, emerging from a giant green pipe. It was a brilliant piece of showmanship that highlighted Japan's cultural exports and generated excitement for the Tokyo Olympics. The image of a world leader cosplaying as Mario went viral instantly. In internet culture, Mario is everywhere. There are countless memes, from the "So Long, Gay Bowser" voice clip, which is actually a mishearing of "So Long, King Bowser," to the various YouTube poops featuring Mario. The "It's Say Me Mario" catchphrase has been parroted endlessly. Mario has influenced other games too. Countless platformers have tried to replicate Mario's tight controls and level design. Indie games like Celeste, Shovel Knight, and Super Meat Boy all owe a debt to Mario's legacy. Even non-platformers borrow Mario elements, power-ups, level structures, and the Rescue the Princess quest. Mario merchandise is a multi-billion-dollar industry. From plush toys to high-end collectibles, from clothing to home decor, you can fill your entire life with Mario products. The character's design is simple enough to be reproduced easily, but distinctive enough to be instantly recognizable. making it perfect for merchandising. Mario has transcended gaming to become a symbol of joy, nostalgia, and childhood wonder. For many people, Mario was their introduction to video games, their first virtual adventure. That emotional connection ensures that Mario will remain relevant for generations to come. So where does Mario go from here? After 40-plus years, dozens of games, and countless adventures, what's left for the world's most famous plumber? The 2023 Super Mario Bros. Movie by Illumination was a massive success, earning over $1 billion worldwide. Unlike the 1993 disaster, this movie embraced the game's colorful aesthetic and lighthearted tone. Chris Pratt's casting as Mario was controversial, but the film itself won over audiences. It proved that Mario can succeed outside of gaming when handled with care and respect for the source material. A sequel is inevitable. In terms of games, Nintendo continues to innovate. Super Mario Odyssey showed that even after decades, there are still new gameplay mechanics to explore. The success of Super Mario Maker and its sequel demonstrates that players love creating their own Mario levels, turning the franchise into a platform for user-generated content. Virtual reality could be Mario's next frontier. Imagine exploring Peach's castle in full VR, or racing through Rainbow Road with a 360-degree view. Nintendo has been cautious about VR after the Virtual Boy disaster, but technology has come a long way. A VR Mario game, done right, could be revolutionary. There's also the question of storytelling. While Miyamoto prefers gameplay over narrative, younger developers at Nintendo might push for deeper stories. Games like Super Mario RPG and the Paper Mario series have shown that Mario can support richer narratives without sacrificing fun. Perhaps future Mario games will blend Miyamoto's gameplay-first philosophy with more elaborate plots. Mobile gaming is another area where Mario is expanding. Super Mario Run, Dr. Mario World, and Mario Kart Tour have brought Mario to smartphones, reaching audiences who might never own a Nintendo console. While these games are simpler than their console counterparts, they keep Mario relevant in an increasingly mobile-focused market. Mario's legacy is also being preserved through Nintendo's various online services. Nintendo Switch Online allows players to access classic Mario games from the NES and SNES eras. This ensures that new generations can experience the games that started it all, understanding Mario's roots. Crossovers will continue to be a big part of Mario's future. Super Smash Bros. Brings together characters from across gaming history, with Mario as the face of the franchise. Future Smash games, as well as potential crossovers with other Nintendo properties or even third-party franchises, will keep Mario in the public eye. There's also the theme park angle. Super Nintendo World opened at Universal Studios Japan in 2021, with locations in Hollywood and Orlando following. These parks bring the Mushroom Kingdom to life, allowing fans to physically explore Mario's world. The success of these parks could lead to even more ambitious projects. Imagine a full-scale Bowser's Castle or a Yoshi's Island safari. Mario will adapt, as he always has. From 2D to 3D, from sprites to polygons, from arcades to home consoles to handhelds to mobile devices, Mario has evolved with technology while maintaining his core identity. That adaptability, combined with Nintendo's commitment to quality, ensures that Mario will continue to be relevant. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Mario. We've covered his origins, his world, his relationships, his cultural impact, and his future. Mario is more than just a video game character. He's a symbol of imagination, perseverance, and joy. From a carpenter named Jumpman to a global icon, Mario's journey is one of constant reinvention. He's been a plumber, a doctor, a kart racer, a golfer, a tennis player, an Olympic athlete, and so much more. He saved Princess Peach countless times, defeated Bowser in 100 different ways, and explored worlds that range from the whimsical to the surreal. What makes Mario truly special is his universality. Whether you're 6 or 60, whether you've been gaming for decades, or just picked up a controller for the first time, Mario welcomes you. His games are designed to be accessible yet challenging, simple yet deep. There's a reason why, after more than 40 years, Mario is still the face of gaming. As we move into the future, Mario will continue to evolve. New technologies, new storytelling methods, and new generations of developers will put their own spin on the character. But at his core, Mario will remain the same, a cheerful, adventurous hero who never gives up, no matter how many times he has to restart the level. Thank you for spending this hour with me, exploring the hidden depths of Mario's world. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing this video. Let me know in the comments what character you'd like to explore next. Until then, as Mario would say, let's say go.